Welcome to a happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a good day. I've got my friend Gary, longtime friend Gary.
That's right.
We've had some amazing parties together, which is crazy, Gary. I can't even believe I
Yeah.
said that. Parties. That party when
Yeah.
somebody was it you who dressed up like Elvis or was it me? I don't even remember. Was it an Elvis party?
Well, we're not going to go down this road.
Okay. Well, Elvis was involved. Okay. Elvis was involved. It's been a while, Gary. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man, it has been a while. Nice talking with you, man.
Yeah, well, since then, Gary has created an amazing company with executive virtual assistants, and most of you that know me, I have a lot of virtual assistants. This is why I aligned with him super quickly, and in fact, three of our current virtual assistants are through Gary, and they're doing an amazing job. And I thought, let's sit down and talk. So I'm not only somebody that's interviewing you, I'm also a client, Gary, and I really love the process that you take these through. But when it comes down to this whole world, why I have just a personal question. Why executive virtual assistants? Why'd you go this route?
Well, I own Prospect Boss, which is like we provide FISBOs expireds. You can promote your just listed, just sold. It's an all-in-one engagement platform. And Tristan, we really struggled with finding good quality team members. Um, and so, and then we would have clients that would call us and say, do you know any good virtual assistants? Now, we don't call them virtual assistants, we call them virtual executive assistants because we're going to go into
That's right.
detail like
Yeah.
why we're different. Um, but we had people calling us all the time trying to say we had, do you know anybody that could get this work done that could do this, this, and this? And so
Yep.
we started the company, and then those companies were terrible. I'm not going to name names, but we got complaints, and so we started this company from the ground up. We hired a lady from Athena, which is the world's largest executive assistant company. She runs our company, and she does an amazing job with our systems and processes. And
Mm.
we're not a normal VA company. We are a company that has systems and processes. Our vetting process is second to none. It literally, the virtual assistants who apply have to pass so many tests and interviews before they even think about working for somebody. So we get the cream of the crop. We get the top of the top. We get the best 1% on the market, and we won't sacrifice sales for quality. And so
Mm.
that's why we started this company, because struggling to find good quality employees.
Got it. Makes
So,
sense. And just from my experience, by the way, everyone, let us know what city and state you're from. Thank you. Arlene, Maryland, Diane, Orange Park, Florida. Everyone else, let us know where you're coming in from, city, state, country. But Gary, when you're saying this thing that you have an amazing hiring process, I gotta say you do because uh, the first two you sent my way, I listened to last week. I listened to their recordings, and I'm like I'm very extremely, and dude, you know how many VAs are executive VAs I have, right? A ton, like over 30. And I'm just really impressed with the first guy you sent me, amazing. Like I feel like I hit the
is
jackpot
Irwin,
with him.
Irwin,
Irwin. I feel I hit the
Irwin,
jackpot
yeah,
with Irwin. Yeah. That guy,
yeah.
I'm like, man, this guy's great. And then the second person, Epi, right? Well, April, right? She's great as well. Very impressed. I could see the hiring process and it makes a difference, systems. But let's talk about like once we hire them, once they're done, once they're with us, what are the best practices for agents? Because I think that's where we all fail as agents. Like we don't know how to communicate with them. We don't know how to necessarily use them, right? We don't know how to a lot of the times, Gary, truthfully, we've never had staff before and we don't know what to do. So, what are some best practices?
Yeah, so our executive assistants can do a variety of tasks, and so we, believe it or not, we have some people that can do prospect for FISBOs and expireds and do marketing, social media marketing, social media management, content creation. But they can do things like blog writing, which is high SEO. Keyword blog writing that is going to help you generate traffic to your website, social media management, CRM, prospecting. So they can call FISBOs and expireds. And so if you're not calling FISBOs and expireds or having somebody call FISBOs and expireds or promoting your just listed, just solds, your competition is. And so if you aren't doing that, we are really good at it. So we love Mike Ferry scripts. Some people might not like Mike Ferry, but we really like his scripts. And so our executive assistants are trained at all of this stuff. So it's not like you have to train them. We're going to train them. They're going to have a background like making real estate phone calls,
Yeah.
prospecting, doing social media content, CRM management, follow up boss. I know you use follow up boss. We had a lady that we just placed with a company that he only wanted a follow up boss manager. That's it. And so we found somebody with a follow up boss history for the past 4 years at a high level, and so we placed them with
Hmm.
that lady. And so CRM management, email marketing, calendar and email, documentation prep, market research, systems optimizations. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do or have an executive assistant do that is going to help you get traffic and exposure. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk says you should do, now this is unrealistic, you should do 2,000 um, um, pieces of content a day. And that is unreasonable and unapproachable. But if you're not on social media creating videos, creating short reels, YouTube shorts, creating things like you can do like I love this one thing that a realtor did, and we're using this in our practices now, Tristan. There's a realtor that posts on Instagram and Facebook a history about the city. And so he'll do research, short
Yeah,
famous people from cities. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. One of my friends does this in the San Francisco area too. I don't know if you're talking about him, but he
Yeah,
does that.
I'm not, but it's
Okay,
a great way to get followers.
dude, it's great because you're providing value.
Yeah. And people want to read about the glory days, the history of the cities and, the people that, were in the city that, were famous or semi-famous. And so anyway, there's lots of things that an executive assistant can do as far as that content creation. I mean, you need to be pumping out tons of content every day. And most real estate agents just aren't doing it. They're just keeping their head above water, just hoping for the best. And so we can have our executive assistants do a combination of different tasks, like I just mentioned, and then they're only going to get better as they go because we're going to continually train them on new tactics, etc.
I love that, man. All right, so we're looking at social, we're looking at admin work. What else have you seen that we agents need when it comes to helping us boost our sales?
Yeah, well, obviously there's TC. So, we get those applicants, for TC, but that's really, not, that's a little different. That's primarily just an admin role. But we have clients that have TC backgrounds, and we, believe it or not, we have our own TC course that they have to go through. And
Okay.
so if you're looking for, a TC, we have people that go and that have that experience. But to answer your question, those tasks are such a big variety. And you can do, about this Facebook retargeting, where you upload a list into Facebook, an email list, and then you can geo target those people with your ads. You can start doing, you need to go live weekly. You need people to help set this stuff up, but you can also do things like, DM Instagram, you can DM LinkedIn, you can DM Facebook. You need to really stock your clients that are possible clients, and like, follow, and comment on their post, and start doing that on a consistent basis. So, those are
Very
just some
true.
of the things. Yeah, those are just some of the things. If you have somebody that's interested, go on and stalk them. I hate to say that, but go on and start commenting on their post, and that keeps you front of mind.
All right. Question for the audience here. As you guys are listening to this, I may have a different answer, so I'll answer this with you to my own question. But what are you all having challenges with as far as things that you know you should be doing, but just find yourself saying, "Man, I wish I had more time." Like, what is that? Think about that and then put it into the chat, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. Because for me, a lot of things come to mind, Gary, but as much as you see me on social, right? I still feel like I could do so much more. Like I could just, we produce so much content, but I feel like we're dropping the ball on how much we could just grab, repurpose, re-edit, and then throw out there. We could literally put up over 2,000 pieces a day, but I feel like I'm behind, right? It's like, so I need that for me because the world that we live in is all about attraction. And if you look at the six most visited websites in the world, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and X. Like
Yeah.
four of those are social, right? And I need to be on there more to attract. So for me in my head, I'm thinking more social, more so. How about you, everyone? What are you guys thinking? Linda says email marketing. So Linda, I'm assuming newsletters, maybe outreach, maybe making sure that your database is getting nurtured through emails. Is that what you're thinking, Linda? Diane says, what's up, Diane? Diane says, new brokerage needs system setup, reports maintained, create IG reels from my photo. Diane, I think that I feel the same way. I'm like, oh, when you said new brokerage, I'm like, yeah, we started a new brokerage, Y Realty. So I'm thinking, yeah, I need systems. I You hit it right on the head for me too, Diane. Allison, more social and the retargeting. Gary, retargeting, hands down, everyone should be retargeting. So yes. And Linda, just to clarify, she says, yep, not everyone's on social with email marketing. Linda, I agree with you on that. A lot of people sleep on email marketing, and I still think it's the best. Gary, what
You
do
know
you
what
think?
we do? Yeah. So we do cold email. So we do cold email that works incredibly well right now. And so we do cold email marketing, and we have a system. I think we send out, I want to say it's about, I have to check with Rex on our dev team, but we send out about 10,000 emails a day. And believe it or not, and they go into the inbox. And so, of course, there's opt outs, things like that. But cold email is a great way. Also, setting up those campaigns for your SOI, for email marketing. You want to start creating that following. You have to have valuable content for them to follow you, like, and share. So, your content might suck. But if you want them to follow you or you want them to reply, it has to be value for them. And so if you're not getting that, or you don't have your systems in place or your best practices in place, you're not going to have good luck. But, call us, talk to Tristan too, and pick our brains on that best content so you can start getting rewards from that email, either cold or SOI.
I love that. And then Linda said something that you and I both know very well. She says, with email, we own that list. Nobody can take it away from us. Who knows? Some social sites may die out or they don't work or they may block you. And then what happens then, right? So I
Yeah.
love that. That's a great point, Linda. All right, so now I'm going to go through how I use a lot of my VAs really quick so that maybe it'll jog some people's memory. I actually have an org chart kind of structure here that I'm going to share. Okay. And then it gives for you listening and watching, it'll give you a better idea of maybe some other things that you can use them for, right? This is staff. These are people. These are amazing humans. Gene says system setup and effective follow-up, no lead left behind. Love that. That could definitely help. Now let me share my screen. Gary, I don't know that you've ever seen this before, so at least I don't know that I've shared this with you. But
Right.
this is what we've got here. This is our virtual staff, right? And what it came down to me is the first virtual executive assistant I hired became my director of ops, right? And this is why now I have a director of ops. And then I have the five arms for me. It looks different for everybody, right? But for me, I've got marketing director, director of communications, creative director, leads coordinator or sales manager, and then director of tech, right? And so each one of these could be all these things. Let's go with marketing director, but each one of these could be a VA, right? In essence, the very beginning, the marketing director, well, hold on, let me even go one step back. The first virtual executive assistant did everything, right? They wore so many hats
Right.
with me, right? And then as we started doing well, they're like, oh, you know what? I think we need, because we're doing so well over here, we really need a marketing director. And then we started getting all of these other pieces, right? And then we did the same thing for tech, right? And then we did the same thing for director of communications, right? There's the TC, right? And then the video editor on video editors, right? We've got a whole bunch now. And then on this end, right? But you could see that it all starts with somebody who's amazing. And I think that's sometimes where we're scared to take that first step. I think that some people just never take it. I'll drop it in the chat there for you guys to take a look at.
Let me elaborate on that. Tristan, you mentioned a great thing. The reason why people a lot of times are hesitant to get well, an executive assistant or a virtual assistant is because they are scared to release that control. They are scared to figure out what they're scared. They don't know what they're going to do, what task. And so that control and that fear, like only I can do it this way, only I know what's best, and they have to be involved in that. And that's where we see the successful agents that can let go of that control, have systems and process to train and manage those executive assistants. But you also have to, let go of that fear and that control and trust and let them
True.
become a team member and grow. So that's what we see.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so let's go through this. If you were going to hire let's go with what? Let's go with, we kind of covered Linda, but let's go. I like Gene's. Gene said, somebody who's going to set up my systems and help me with effective follow-up. What would that hire look like, Gary?
Yeah. So first of all, we would want to try to find out what she's using, if anything, right now. Is she using Follow Up Boss? Is she using, what platform is she using? So then or if they're using GHL or whatever platform, from there, what we're going to do is we're going to go and start looking at possible candidates. And so we scour the earth. These people can be in Egypt. They can be in Mexico. They can be in Costa Rica. They can be anywhere in the world. And
Okay.
so we love, by the way, salespeople in Egypt. We love salespeople in Egypt. They're incredibly sales oriented. So just food for thought there. But so we would scour the earth on all of our connections, and Kay does all of that outreach. We then look at their resume and find out what background they have, what experience, what roles they've had. Then they have to go through, once we have that candidate, we might have, say, 10 all over the earth or our channels that we find those people. After those, we have those 10, we then put them through our systems vetting and vetting process. That includes background check, that includes personality test, IQ test, that includes English comprehension. That's about 2-hour test alone, just the English comprehension. and then they have to go through 2 interviews through us. So, and those
Wow.
interviews are about an hour long.
Okay, I like that. Gene says she uses Go High Level, or he. Sorry,
Okay.
Gene. Male, female, just let us know so we don't screw that up. Linda says, do you do a disc assessment?
Um, so I don't know exactly what a disc assessment is. We might, Kay, our
Uh,
director of ops, go ahead.
Gary, it would be when you go through and see personality tests.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it
So
would
we
be.
do we do a personality test right now.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Gene.
So
Appreciate you.
yep. So we go through all those tests, and Kay handles that part, and she has a team that handles that part for her, and then we just match them with the best candidate. From there, we give you the top 3 candidates. So you're going to have the
Mm.
top 3, where you're going to have an interview with those 3 candidates. You get to choose. We're not going to play somebody that we don't know if it's going to be a match. So we're gonna give you our top 3, and then you're gonna be able to ask questions. Mary, one of our trainers, will be asking questions, and then you two will decide on which candidate is best. And then what we do is we start training them for a week on your systems and processes. What are you using? Go high level. Do you have drip set up? What are best practices? Are you prospecting for FISBOs expires? What are those roles that you want to
Got
have
it.
done? And then when they're after that week, they're ready to start with that client, and they're only going to get better going forward because we have weekly training with them.
And do you do a test assignment with them? Kind of say, hey, do you actually know what you're doing? Do you go through that process? So I'm assuming you do because you
Yes.
did it with me, right?
Yeah,
You did it multiple times.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And
Great
we've
question,
developed
Linda.
a Yeah, we've developed our own courses as well. So we have our own Canva course for a content creator. They have to be really good at Canva. They have to be good at certain things. So we have our own tests that people have to go through to make sure that
Mhm.
they're qualified. Christian, the biggest issue that we see with real estate agents and virtual assistants is the churn. You're going to hire somebody who says they're excellent at everything. Then you're going to realize very quickly in about 2 or 3 weeks, they're not good at anything, and then you're going to waste that money and time, and then after that you've got to churn, you have to hire somebody new, and then it's an ever revolving cycle. So that's what we see is the biggest difference, is that wasting time and money trying to hire a really
Wow.
good team member, not a virtual assistant.
That's very true. Okay, I have a question for you here. We've got like 4 minutes left. Devana says, yes, Canva. I use Follow Up Boss. Devana, yeah, definitely see if you can get somebody from Gary's company, Vitalis. It would definitely help. All right, here's the question. Gary, just in general, all right, no specifics. I have an answer too.
Uh-oh.
So I'll go to you first. No right answer. What do you think are the three in general, right? The three virtual staff members that are the most popular right now that you see most people hiring for. What are those three?
Yeah, that's easy. Lead generation. If you are not doing lead generation, oh my gosh, you have to do lead generation on a daily basis. So lead gen is number one. Social media content, pump, pump, pump out that content. Cash is not king anymore. Content is king. And so social media content, prospecting, lead gen, and then third, I would say probably systems and processes.
Ooh, okay. Hold on. I think we matched. I'm just writing yours down just to make sure. Systems. All right. So I've got it. Mine are, and I have a sheet for this, so I'll share with everybody because I think it'll help if they choose to hire you and your company. I've outlined them. That's why I asked. I cheated, Gary. I cheated. Okay.
That's okay. It's all right.
I
But
cheated.
I want to know. I'm curious. I'm on the
Here
edge of
it
my
is.
seat.
All right, here you go. So I outlined them ahead of time. And so social media manager, right? For I'm like, you know what? I get this one a lot. So I'm gonna outline it. Here are the
Mhm.
tasks. Executive admin, which I think is a systems person. right? Let's get your systems processes down. So far we match there, right? The only one you made me think of, which I agree with, by the way, I would probably replace it and I'd put, like you said, the lead generator here. But what I hear from agents right now a lot, the ones that are creating content or want to, I need a video editor. I need a video editor. Tristan, do you have a video editor? Right? So I outlined that right there. But now that I heard you, I would replace for me now this one, and I would put exactly what you just said. Because without prospecting, whatever prospecting looks like to you, everyone, you're not going to have a business. So I agree with you, Gary. I did put in
Well,
at the bottom there.
one thing about the social media or content creator, we use so many AI tools right now to create content. We use Opus Clip and a bunch of other AI products. It's so easy to pump out content right now. We're testing a new product called Descript. And
Mhm.
so we're testing that product right now. Have you used it? Yeah. Yeah. So we're,
Love it.
it's so easy to pump out that content right now. And so with a full-time content creator, yeah, I agree. Or video editor, you said, but it's now it's so much easier. There's really no editing right now. I mean, you can pump out so many short reels and YouTube clips really easy. It's just so easy now with AI.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. All right, I did put up that link there. And then Young, thank you so much. Young put up the link to Vitalis there, and you get $250 off your first month. So thank you. And as you go through whatever link we put in there, you're going to have some questions. Gary can answer them. Gary, how do we get a hold of you if we have questions for you?
Yeah, email or call.
And
So
what's
our
your email?
Yeah, email is Gary, Gary, at Vitalis Outsourcing, VITALISOUTSOURCING.com. And by the way, somebody asked about a task list for real estate agents. You can email me as well. We have that task list for real estate agents. It's 100 tasks that you can assign an executive assistant to do.
Send that to me too, man. I want that.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll make
I
note.
want that. And then I put up
Okay.
Gary's. Oh, thanks, Young. Young and I put up Gary's email there. If you have questions for him or if you missed something, you want a clarification on anything, for sure. And also, if you want to just reach out to me with any VA question, I can help you out. And then I'll probably quarterback you to Gary as well. So, everyone, thank you so much. Allison, yeah, just ask for that task list in the email. And then you put it in the subject line, task list, and Gary will send that over to you as well. Gary, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. And I look forward to doing more of these with you.
All right, Tristan. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, everybody.